Okay, this is Screencast on your reading notes example. On your reading notes example, there is a blank template in the actual assignment. This is a suggested way to do it. Really what I care about is you're showing at least in 250 words. And you see here, this is just 273, this shot, that you have read the material. All right. So, your name, we're a 1301 A02 hybrid, I believe is what we are. And you can think about this in just two sections, right? You can do this one this time. If you want to get off the template in the future, that's fine. Or if you already have a strategy, that's great. But whatever you do, don't just find some notes online, cut and paste those. Remember, that's plagiarism. Don't do that. And it's not that hard, really, to do it. So there's no reason for that. You should all have a pretty high score for your reading notes at the end of the semester. So this is not chapter 1, what you are doing next time. But let's just say we are up to the Enlightenment chapter. So this is what I suggest. Bullets from the first chapter and thoughts about them if you have any. Right? This is pretty much straight out of the text. The Enlightenment valued reason. One of the statements, some critics view the Enlightenment as emerging from the 30 Years' War. Actually, that's an interpretation. Gives you some various viewpoints for that. Jonathan Swift was a major English author of the Enlightenment. Right? That's just a statement. This is pretty easy, right? Page 464 of our book is a summary of the 30 Years' War. It's just showing that you did something to engage with the text, right? Summarize what you got out of the chapter. It doesn't have to be entirely accurate here. You can misinterpret and not get penalized for it. Just, again, show that you tried to read it, tried to understand it. So there was a really big war that changed Europe quite a bit, right? Before the war, people were mostly Catholic, but a lot of people were not happy with the Catholic Church, and so they protested it. So in the student's own words, right, this is what he or she in this case of Jane Doe got out of it. And we'll talk about who John and Jane Doe are in the future, just anonymous people. All right, these protesters turned into the first Protestants. All right, so that's just historically what happened. This student thought that was significant. The art from this time period is ugly. Well, there's a judgment, right? That's fine. Right? Not everybody's going to think that, but this person thought that. It seems as if the art was mostly fat old men who get their portraits painted just to feel important about themselves. This last part, at least, is true. It was, we talked about paintings as a status symbol, right? Show prestige, all that sort of stuff. Like today, the old rich men wanted to marry youngest and prettiest women they could find. Well, that's kind of judgmental, right? But again, in a lot of the paintings, it turns out to be true. You'll see lots of older people with younger wives and that sort of thing. So that's what this student got out of it. So whatever you get out of this, or whatever you think is important about chapter 1 in this case, just a couple short paragraphs, couple of threes here, what it is. Not a whole lot of material. In this case, it's 273 words. All this stuff gets counted. All right. So if you have any questions about this, message me, and if it seems like I get a couple that are common, then I'll open up an announcement and maybe a discussion on this. And that concludes this screencast.